And we are now live streaming. Sure. Ted, can you make me co-host so I can share my screen? And then we will go ahead and start the roll call. So we'll go over the agenda. Shauna Janeway sitting in for Dave Sanders.
Yeah.
Shauna's here. Marlene Fonseca.
Here.
Chad Boggio.
Here.
Lisa Palombi.
Here.
John Tragoda sitting in for Tony Royster.
Here.
Matthew Rudnick.
Here.
Paul Gerard sitting in for Matt Zabel.
Present.
And Petty Santos sitting in for Holly Wolcott.
Present.
That is 8 members total on a forum. As a reminder for those who are participating virtually, if you'd like to make a public comment, please press *9 on your phone to put yourself in the queue. For those who are in person, if you'd like to make a public comment, please fill out a speaker card and bring it to the front. Seeing none and hearing none.
Good morning, JLMBC members. This is Chung with Employee Benefits, and I will be going over this first report on the extension of the benefits plan administration and communication consulting services. Back in August 2020, the JLMBC had recommended to the personnel department that the single company and associates be selected to provide employee benefits plan administration and communications consulting services for the LEL program. Both contracts were executed for a period of 3 years and are due to expire at the end of this calendar year. Staff has found that the split framework arrangement to be successful and have been satisfied with the work performed by both consultants. Due to the ongoing need for such consulting services, staff is recommending that the JLMBC recommend to the Personnel Department General Manager to extend the agreements with both Siegel and Keenan's for an additional 2 years.
Second.
Okay, well, that will take a roll call vote and go in the same order. So Shauna, your vote. Shauna votes aye. Marlene, your vote.
Aye.
Marlene votes aye. Chad, your vote.
Aye.
Chad votes aye. Lisa, your vote.
Aye.
Lisa votes aye. Tony, your vote. John, your vote.
Aye.
John votes aye. Matt, your vote.
Aye.
Matt votes aye. Paul, your vote.
Aye.
Paul votes aye. And Petty, your vote.
Aye.
Petty votes aye. It's unanimous. The motion passes.
Members of the JLMBC committee. My name is Megan Gardner, and I'm with Keenan and Associates, and I'm going to be opening up today's presentation for health equity. Just wanted to provide an overview of the calendar year 2022 program. Health equity, which was formerly Lakewood, we've done a kind of slow roll and transition in their names, but they are officially health equity, has been the city's partner for tax advantage spending accounts since 2008. Our healthcare limit in 2023 was set at $2,850 for participants, and that will be actually moving up in 2024 to $3,050 because that adjusts every year when IRS announced those limits. Dependent care FSA in 2023 has an election of $5,000. That typically does not change and hasn't changed much to the chagrin of many parents over the past several years. But in 2022 in particular, you had about 2,782 participants. That was a slight drop over from 2021. And obviously in 2020, we saw kind of that dip due to the pandemic. Things are normalizing with tax advantage accounts. Folks are acting more normal. Children are going back to daycare centers. So your dependent care enrollment and participation has also increased over time since the pandemic. And in March of this year, we reported out on 2023 participation. That is also seeing a positive increase as well from 2022, just to give some context. And the same could be said for the healthcare flexible spending. Your average participant election for the healthcare flexible spending is about $1,663. It's much higher for dependent care. Obviously, childcare costs are a lot higher and a lot more near dear folks' hearts. So $4,037 is about the average election for that dependent care, which is really close to what the annual maximum is set by the IRS. That is just a brief overview about the program. I'm actually going to turn it over to David Hanley, who's with Health Equity. He's going to do a deep dive into the actual participant behavior and activity and spending that took place in 2022. David?
Hi. Good morning, everyone. Can you see me?
No, your camera's not on yet.
Okay. Okay. What about now?
Yes.
Okay. And thank you, Melissa. I think your microphone was muted for me a little bit. I could barely hear you, but where you're sitting. But I hope everyone can hear me okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. Great. Well, thank you all, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to meet with you. I'm sorry I can't be there in person this year. I know I used to go there every year until the pandemic, and then we had restrictions on travel. But hopefully soon I'll get to be on site and visit with you all again. I'm David Hanley. I'm the service delivery manager for Health Equity WageWorks, and I've been with the company, well, combined companies, for 35 years, working in the employee benefits field, and manage many large public sector and private sector clients located in Louisiana. So just a little bit about Health Equity. So Health Equity acquired WageWorks 4 years ago. And so we are now, the industry leader in tax favored account benefit administration. And we have currently right now, we have 14.6 million accounts, 19.7 billion in HSA assets. Health Equity was very large in the HSA business when they acquired us. And as far as our customer satisfaction, we have our customer satisfaction scores for members about 84.6%, and for clients, 87.6% of our clients. And we administer benefits for 1 in 7 working Americans have Health Equity benefits. And so we're the leading provider in HSAs, 7.4 million, FSAs, 3.2 million, HRAs, 1.9 million, COBRA, 0.9 million, commuter, 0.5 million, and lifestyle savings accounts, 0.7 million. And that's growing area, the lifestyle savings accounts. So that's just a little bit about Health Equity. And so today we're here to talk to you about your healthcare FSA and dependent care FSA accounts. So healthcare spending accounts, eligible expenses that members can utilize that benefit for, primarily would be for prescriptions, over-the-counter medicines, co-payments, co-insurance and deductibles, dental and vision benefits, orthodontic, and chiropractic care. And we have a full list available on our website for members to access those eligible expenses. Okay. Okay, a few highlights. So the healthcare flexible spending account program, we've been tracking since 2013 through 2022 the participation. So as you can see on this slide, the participation growth since 2013 has been 43.7% over the years. Okay, that amounts to a cumulative employer savings of 2.9 million and a cumulative employee tax savings of 11.6 million. The average or annual tax savings per participant is $499. So the average election per participant has increased 16.1% during this period of time, from 1432 to 1,663. Okay, go ahead. All right, so the next screen is a 5 healthcare debit card expenses, top 5 expenses when people use their healthcare card. And primarily it is, as you'll see on this chart, pharmacy prescriptions is the most. We had in 22, we had 13,132 card transactions, and health and medical equipment, 10,402 healthcare card transactions, physicians, 5,686 card transactions, dental, 3,673 transactions, and vision, 2,647 transactions. And I have it compared to the 2021. We've had a slight increase in the number of transactions for pharmacy and healthcare and medical equipment, and a slight decrease in the dental, vision, and physicians card transactions. The total spend for these card transactions, so for pharmacy, 415,000, health and medical equipment, 532,000, physicians, 379,000, vision, 622,000, and dental, I'll have to double check that. That figure doesn't, it's over 1 million, but I'll double check that figure. So overall, this is where your employees are spending their dollars, and we have a breakdown of comparison from 21 to 22. And it looks like that figure may be accurate compared looking at 21. It just seems rather high. But so this is a breakdown of the transactions. Of course, there's other card transactions that can be used. So the next slide will give you a breakdown as well of the card spend, where members are spending their are using their card. Okay. You can go to the next slide, Paul. Okay, so that was just a summary of the healthcare. Now with childcare, dependent care, flexible spending accounts, 41%. The cost of childcare has risen 41% since the start of the pandemic. So members are starting to use the dependent care accounts again. Primarily, dependent care accounts are used for before and after school care, au pair services, extended daycare programs, summer day camp, elder care. Ineligible expenses would be overnight camps, tuition for kindergarten, non-related work, daycare, and long-term elder care is not eligible. And a breakdown or a highlight for the dependent care from 2013 through 22, similar to the healthcare. We've actually had a 10% decrease since 2013, primarily because if you see on the chart, from the pandemic started in the beginning of 2020, after your enrollment elections took place for 2020, we had a decrease for the plan year of 2021, and it started to tick up again in 2022, and it's going up now. I looked at the numbers this morning for 23. It's going up again to like 571 for 2023. And by the way, your healthcare is ticking up as well. That number went up to like 2,900 healthcare participants. So it is going back up slowly, but we had that big reduction due to the pandemic and people working from home and not needing childcare services. But it is ticking up again because childcare expenses are increasing. So again, we have utilized the mobile phone. 27% of adults living in households earning less than $30,000 a year only use their smartphones for their benefits, and so we have increased our modified our communications to, if you go to the next slide, Paul, there's barcodes on our communications, and those barcodes can be used to access flyers, posters, instant benefit expense verifications for eligible expenses. So we we've been enhancing our mobile phone experience and adding more and more options each year to make it more user-friendly for members to access all of their benefits at their fingertips using our mobile technology. Next screen. So health equity, we appreciate your partnership. We can partner with you for other benefits that you may consider, HSA, FSA, HRA. We do administer commuter for you as well, and the lifestyle savings accounts. So we're looking forward to working with the city again this year for this open enrollment. I know you're going to be talking about your open enrollment campaign and communications, and we have many communication materials and resources. We have an open enrollment kit that we can provide. We are available to provide on-site or live or recorded webinar presentations. In the past, we've done some webinar presentations. So we'll be working with the benefits team to see how we can help you with your communications to kind of educate members on these benefits and increase your participation and get that going on the right track. So that, I know that was a quick summary, but I'm here to answer any questions that you may have regarding the flexible spending accounts.
I have a question. On the healthcare FSA, I was just curious, you showed the participant, like the number of participants. I was just curious what that looks like in terms of a percentage of our eligible members. If that's something that's just available. And then how we stack up compared with other employers.
Okay. Yes, I'll have to take a look at that and go back and look at the number of eligible members you have, and I can provide that to you. I don't have that offhand.
David, we have about 26,000, so I think it's roughly about 10% for our enrollment. So do you know how 10% compares to your other clients?
Okay, about 10%. Not offhand, but I think we have clients who have a higher percentage of participation. I did check with some of my peers as well, because I was looking at the participation, and you see that it kind of went down a little bit from 21 to 22. I'm not quite sure. It didn't go down much, but it went down a little bit. And I think that might have something to do with inflation. And although it's a cost savings, a tax savings, some members may want to keep not contribute and have the money in their pocket right away. But I'll need to get back with you on an average across our book of business. I don't have that figure offhand as far as book of business average participation based on a group your size with 35,000 eligible, but I'll take that away and I will follow up with the group on that question.
I appreciate it. I also asked just because like you had mentioned a slight decline since 2020, but the city is working to do a lot of hiring. And I'm curious also, just as we onboard new employees, if those new employees avail themselves of like this benefit, we don't want it to be our best kept secret. So I'm curious.
Just looking at the numbers from the report in March, where we reported out there were 2,858, and David took a look this morning, there's about 2,900 now. It seems like
yes,
are starting to avail themselves of that. And just some context from our perspective, we work with several clients throughout the state. They're on a range of clients for your size. 10% is a little on the lower side. But again, you're going into open enrollment, you have the opportunity to educate folks, as you said, and make sure that they're aware of the benefit. And we're looking forward to helping the city with that, and David as well, to make sure they're aware of it. But it does seem like you are experiencing that organic uptick in participation with new hires throughout the year.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think the education campaign, if we can stress the tax savings to members, and also with the healthcare spending accounts, in the communications, maybe stress that you have access to your election amount from day one of the plan year. Although you haven't contributed your payroll deductions during the year, the availability rule allows you to have access up front. So that might entice members to enroll, to have access if they have expenses that are planned for that year. So a couple of different ideas there that we can explore to try to help increase participation.
Great minds. Go ahead.
A follow-up question on the same thing. So we know that we can start during open enrollment and that new employees are given the opportunity, but if you have a life event, which is what they call it in the health insurance aspect. Does a life event also trigger an ability to enroll in the two?
It depends on.
Yes.
The life events. Usually your open enrollment opportunities have to be consistent with the event. So, for example, if you gain a dependent child, for example, you should have the opportunity to enroll in that dependent care FSA. So section 125 rules, which is what the IRS governs those life events, that takes that consistency with the event, but we've had that opportunity.
I'm sorry, Byron, this is a very good question. The presenter mentioned a benefit, like maybe what I heard, what will be clarified for me is that members who elect to participate could access benefits prior to actually building an account, just based on a commitment to participate, or that was left a little unexplained, and I just like to understand that.
They have access to their funds on day one of the plan year. So January 1st, if you elect during this open enrollment 2023 for plan year 2024, on January 1st, you have access to your entire healthcare FSA election on January 1st. That's how I paid for my kids' orthodontia. Had to do that. Even though you haven't maybe perhaps yet contributed through payroll deduction, all of your funding, those funds are available to you on day one of the plan year.
I don't think a lot of people understand that. Right?
It's an IRS requirement. The dependent care one works the opposite way. So the healthcare one is front loaded at the beginning, IRS required. Dependent care you have to build up, and only whatever you contribute is what you can use.
Okay.
Much to the chagrin of parents.
Can you remind me what happens to the unspent money?
It is forfeited and it
They
goes
use it,
back.
right?
It's forfeited for the employee. It goes back to the city's account. And but we do have a grace period.
Do we have a report on that amount of money that goes back, that's gone back?
David, do you have, we get forfeiture each year. Do you have any idea of ability to report on that at a later?
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. I can provide you the remaining balances, and that'll give us the percentage. I can give you that. Yes, we have reports, Paul, on the employer portal that I can pull and provide to you that show the forfeiture amounts for each year.
I think we probably want number of participants.
Okay. And I know you mentioned the grace period where members can spend beyond the plan year, 2.5 month grace period. And then you have a 4-month run out period where members can actually submit claims for the prior year. They have actually 4 months to actually submit claims to get reimbursed from their account before there's any forfeitures. So that's a good grace period. A lot of clients have like a 90-day grace period, 3 months. The city has a 4-month, grace period, run out period. The city has a 4-month run out period. So it gives them lots of time to turn in their receipts and get reimbursed so they don't lose their funds.
And we make an effort to send reminders every year at the end when anybody has balance. So in December, if they still have a balance, we say, we send out a message, Health Equity sends out a message. We try to bombard them to let them know to hurry up.
Yep, end of year balance reminders. We do send those out. That's correct.
Forfeiture happens after the 4 months.
Correct. Ted?
Oh, I couldn't hear the announcement. Yes, hi, everybody. This is Ted Vasquez. I'll be presenting Committee Report 2332. And this report provides an overview of the 2023 Open Enrollment Communications Campaign for the plan year 2024. So our staff is busy planning and preparing for open enrollment and working closely with TELUS, our third-party administrator, to program and update our employee portal and our record-keeping system, as well as working with Keenan to develop our communications plan and materials. So beginning on page 1, the background section provides a timeline of our 2023 OE season. Currently, we are in the development stage of our OE materials, which will be ready for release by the end of September. So employees will have them in hand when OE begins on October 1st. On page 2, item letter C, we have a summary of the RFP selections that the JLMBC has recently approved. Through these selections, one of the largest changes to our LA Well benefits menu for 2024 is a change in our vision services provider from IMED to Anthem. Now, the main message that will be conveyed throughout our open enrollment communications is that members can still access the same services from the same optometry provider that they currently use. The change to their vision coverage is essentially a change in name only. Now, staff and Keenan are continuing to work with Anthem to ensure that members are informed and educated about this change. Now, on page 3, in regards to branding, in an effort to reduce confusion from members who may mistake their Anthem vision benefit for a medical benefit, staff and Keenan have had discussions with Anthem about options to limit the Anthem brand name. At this time, the best option appears to be to focus on the Blueview Vision name and not mention the name Anthem, except in instances when required by regulation. So the Blueview Vision branding would be continued in printed education materials on our website and serve as a confirmation that it is a vision-only standalone benefit. So on page 4, we detail our OE communications materials. These include postcards, worksite posters, citywide emails, and our open enrollment package. A preview of all these materials are shown on the screen. They are in draft format and provided as attachments A through E. A summary outlining the proposed timeline for releasing these communications can be found on page 7 of the report. So back to page 5, we'll detail some additional educational resources. So as telecommuting continues, but a return to office increases, similar to last year, we've placed a focus on materials being accessible online, on demand, and by phone, but we have planned for some in-person activities as well. So our website, keepinglawell.com, will have a dedicated open enrollment webpage that will serve as a one-stop resource for all things open enrollment, including on-demand short topical videos from each provider, electronic versions of our OE guides, FAQs, and links to our Benefits Central portal, where our employees can make their open enrollment elections online. Also on our website is the ability to make an in-person or a telephone appointment with an LA Well program staff member, and appointments are available and can be made same day or in advance. 2 additional in-person activities we're planning for open enrollment are found on page 6. First up is our LA Well provider informational sessions. Staff plans to hold 4 walk-in sessions where LA Well providers for medical, dental, vision, and life insurance are planned to be available to provide information and answer benefit-related questions. In addition, a TELUS representative is planned to be available to enroll members into their benefit elections for 2024. The other event is our Vision pop-up clinics. The clinics will be held during 2 weeks in the month of October and allow employees to get their annual eye exam and select vision materials all within a city building. The clinics also serve as an educational tool, encouraging them to use their vision benefits before the end of the calendar year. Additional details about the dates and locations for both of these in-person events are still being arranged, and we will announce those along with our open enrollment communications. So lastly, on page 7, our member advocates from the city's health plans will continue to be available for one-on-one virtual visits, and our targeted communications will be used to remind employees of any specific actions that they may need to take to successfully retain the benefit elections that they have made during open enrollment. So that concludes this open enrollment overview report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Going back to the rebranding of IMED and Blue View Vision, I understand that that's going to be seamless for the plan participants, but what about the medical providers?
I can answer that, Ted. So there'll be no change at all to medical providers in this change for the vision, since vision is separated. And we're actually trying to make sure that message is clear to the members by letting them know that as well. 5 years ago, when we separated the optometry services from the ophthalmology medical services, we had a lot of communications and a lot of education to members on how to treat things differently. So our attempt in this change is, as Ted mentioned, to only make this a name change. To let members know that it's still a standalone optometry service, and any vision services that they need with medical remain in medical. Nothing's changed on that side whatsoever.
So I go into my eye doctor and they're gonna know who Blue View is.
They should, yes. So in this concept, because Blue View is essentially copying the network that currently has IMED, or that we currently use for IMED, and then enhancing it with additional providers. If they're going to an in-network service provider right now with IMED, if they go to that same provider next year in January, it would be the same system. So in the current process, if you go to Lens Crafters, Target Optical, anything, you just tell them your name and your date of birth, they should be able to find you in the system with the active insurance.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's move on to item 6, report 2033, activity and conduct.
Good morning again, this is Chung, and I will be going over the projects and activities report. First up on page 1, we have an Anthem network update. Anthem recently advised the city on the status of their network agreement with Antelope Valley Medical Center. Negotiations are still ongoing, but Anthem wanted to let the city know that the agreement may terminate on August 15th. If the termination does go through, it could potentially impact 18 city employees. These employees would be notified should that occur. Secondly, we have an update on a data breach that occurred in March. One of Delta's dental consultant, Oric, suffered a data breach to a portion of their network. Delta's own systems were not affected by this data breach, but certain protected health information may have been compromised within Oric's system, but no SSN or financial information was involved in the breach. Oric's investigation had identified that 44 city employees were potentially affected by the breach. These employees will be offered 2 years of identity monitoring services from Crow. And Oric has also taken steps to implement additional security measures to strengthen their network. Moving over to page 2, we have an update on the 2 ad hoc subcommittees that were proposed from the prior JLMBC meeting. The first is the medical plan subcommittee. Shannon Janeway and Paul Gerard will be the members of this committee. The second is the governance bylaws committee. Paul Gerard, Chad Bojo, and Marlene Fonseca will be the members for the subcommittee. And lastly, on page 3, we have an update, an HRT update. Since the last update, staff has continued to encounter certain some instances with employees who have received incomplete or incorrect benefits eligibility information, but more so, we've been encountering instances of where employees have not completed their onboarding action. When employees don't complete their onboarding action, this can impact their benefits eligibility assessment and offer benefits. We are looking into additional measures to identify these employees who have incomplete onboarding actions and are looking to bring them to the attention of their HRP team and HR division for quicker resolution to resolve these issues quickly and to so that we're able to get them a benefits offer. And that brings this report to an end. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have, and also if we take any items that you'd like to add for future GMC.
For the Antelope Valley, do they offer an alternative site close by to that center that the members can go to?
Thank you, Nicole.
Hi, Nicole with Anthem. Yes, we do have another off-grid facility. Palmdale Regional is in the local area. Any other questions on Antelope? How large of a facility is that? I don't have the numbers offhand, but I can follow up with that after the meeting.
And how close is the Palmdale to the, I'm not familiar. I'm not going to push out for anyway, but about how far is that? Like what kind of impact?
I know it's within our reasonable access, but I can follow up with the exact mileage.
On a separate note, for the HRP on the onboarding, just a comment that it's, it's a concern that new employees are not possibly not able to access their benefits or complete this registration process. I do know, and I believe that this is not going to improve until the city really comes up with an onboarding, we keep saying onboarding process, but many departments don't even have an onboard. And many employees don't even have a city email or computer. So how are they gonna complete this process if there's nothing uniform? I think that really needs to be worked on. Maybe not on your end, but maybe you could push it because of the benefit issue that it's creating for you as well.
One of the things we're looking at is when we're trying to identify these employees who have these incomplete onboarding actions and bring them to the attention of their HR department to follow up with the employees directly. Now, if the employees don't have a city email, or they may not have access to a computer, I believe their HR division should be able to assist them in completing the onboarding actions on their end.
Yeah, they should. I mean, you got a lot of vacancies, right, in certain classifications, like not mine, I mean, mine has its own, but classifications like custodian, or some of mine that do also work at night and HR is not there, and they may not, be aware of any of this, and just see it like snowballing.
Yes, and that's what, we're trying to get ahead of that and reduce the number of instances where, of employees encountering these issues. And this is one of the first steps that we're looking at and trying to implement.
I mean, benefits might think about having a mandatory 1 hour session with or somebody with every new employee.
One of the things we do with for those departments that do host new hire benefits presentation, we do participate, and then we as part of our presentation, we not only go over the benefits that are available to employees, including the FSA program. We also stress the importance of completing their onboarding action as well.
Is it an app they can put on their phone?
I don't believe, technically Workday does have one, but I'm not sure if it is something that employees can access. At least to do the onboarding part. I know they can access it to be able to do, like, look at the things an employee can look at for their review, but I'm unsure about the onboarding piece. And we're all learning together, and I completely agree that it's a struggle. It's frustrating. We're very open to any idea to be able to try to make this move forward, but it's been a challenge.
Okay, thanks.
Do you have any other comments or questions or? All right, thank you. And then, so we'll move on to request for future agenda items. Did anybody?
Sean, I just wanted to take a quick opportunity. It's not necessarily a request for a future agenda topic. I did want to mention, I'm Matthew Rudnick. I'm an AGM at Recreation and Parks, and for committee members and staff. I just wanted to, we had a number of, unfortunately, shootings in the park system recently. And but fortunately, we've been able to rely on Optum to come out to provide grief counseling services for our staff and for our employees. And they've been very responsive and really have been instrumental in just helping with trauma and mental health for our staff. And so I just wanted to thank the committee and staff for making those resources available. And again, not a future agenda topic, but just something I wanted to mention to the reality of some of the work that, you know, our employees do in the field. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, absolutely. So our next meeting is September 7th. October 5th. And we're good. It's only 9:44.